For years now, we've had a small and a big iPhone, the Plus model. What was sorely missing was a mid-sized option, one that does not feel too big to carry around in a pocket, and one with a bigger screen. The new iPhone X fits that spot perfectly. It's a brand new iPhone, it has a new design, a new Face ID system, and a new gesture-based interface. But its size alone might be one of the biggest advantages of a device that you carry with you every day. The iPhone X is significantly narrower than the 8 Plus, and that makes it much more comfortable to use with one hand and to carry in your jeans pocket. It's also not quite as heavy as the 8 Plus. The X also has a few notable design features. Features a super-sized power button that is more convenient and a shiny stainless steel frame, while the 8 series have a matte aluminum frame. And then there are the similarities. All three iPhones have IP67 water protection ratings, so you don't need to worry if they get a little wet. The biggest change that the iPhone X brings has got to be the new all-screen display, and since the screen takes up the whole front of the phone, there is no home button on the X. So how do you unlock this new iPhone? There is a brand new way to do that, a new advanced 3D face recognition system, or simply Face ID. Face ID replaces the Touch ID fingerprint scanner on the iPhone X, but the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus still rely on fingerprint scans for security. We have tested Face ID and found it to work well in most but not all cases. It works in the dark, at night, it's able to recognize your face when you wear regular glasses and many sunglasses. It can recognize you with a hat, a beard, a scarf, but sometimes it will refuse to recognize you, and it is those times that we remember Touch ID's better accuracy. And in many cases, Face ID is just a little bit slower, and when you need to unlock the phone, you can just rely on Touch ID, which is faster on the 8 and the 8 Plus. Face ID is also the reason we have the notch, the slightly weird cutout at the top of the iPhone X. You get used to it, but it never feels pretty. Instead, it remains a constant reminder of a weird design compromise. What it compromises is actually another impressive iPhone X feature, the so-called bezel-less screen. While all earlier models, including the 8 and the 8 Plus, used LCD displays with big bezels on the top and bottom, the new iPhone X is the first one to use an OLED display. An OLED display allows fine control over every single pixel of the screen. When a pixel is not in use, it is shut down completely, which helps with energy efficiency and allows the screen to show perfect blacks and have much deeper contrast. Here's the strange thing, the iPhone X has a 5.8-inch screen, but its actual area is smaller than the 5.5-inch 8 Plus, and the difference is the aspect ratio. The 8 Plus has a 16:9 orientation, while the X is taller, and you can notice yourself. In video, you see a lot more on the 8 Plus. All three iPhones run iOS 11. It looks familiar, but it works differently. You use the home button on the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus, while on the iPhone X you have new gestures for everything. Swipe up from the bottom to go to the home screen, swipe up from the bottom and pause halfway for multitasking, swipe left or right on the bottom part to quickly switch between recent apps, swipe down from the top right for Control Center, and swipe down from any other place at the top for Notification Center. It took me a couple of days to get used to this, but after that period, I was enjoying the new gestures. Plus, no screen space is wasted for on-screen navigation keys. Do I miss the home button? Not much, quite honestly. All three iPhones, the X, the 8 and the 8 Plus, have the same Apple A11 Bionics system chip on board. This is the fastest chip ever put on a phone. It allows impressive features like 4K video at 60 frames per second and some cool graphics in games. However, we do notice a bit of a hiccup, a dropped frame here and there on all three new iPhones. It's not a big deal, but it is surprising. All three iPhones have two storage options, a base 64GB model and a $150 more expensive 256GB model. As always with iPhones, microSD cards are not supported. The iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone X both have two cameras on the back, a wide-angle one and a zoomed telephoto one, while the iPhone 8 only has one, a wide-angle camera. What this means is that you can only get the new fancy portrait photos with a blurred background on the 8 Plus and on the X. As to the main cameras, they take identical pictures on all three iPhones. We could not find any difference in quality. Images look brighter and more cheerful than on earlier iPhones, so you can just get the image and share it without doing much editing. There is a slight difference in portraits. The 10 has optical stabilization on the secondary camera and takes sharper pictures, especially in low light. The big game changer for the 10 is the front camera, and the special trick is portrait mode. Yes, you can take portrait mode selfies with the 10 and they look really impressive. No other iPhone has this feature. All three new iPhones come with dual speakers. There is one speaker pointed towards the bottom and another one hidden in the earpiece in the front, pumping tunes directly towards you. These two speakers combined produce a truly impressive next level sound in a phone. Is there any difference between the three in terms of quality? We did not notice any meaningful difference, they all sound similarly great. Of course, for best quality you need headphones or big speakers. Unfortunately, there is no headphone jack on any of the three new iPhones. Apple does include a Lightning to 3.5mm audio adapter in the box, so you can use that to connect to headphones. And there's also a pair of earpods buds in the box. Next up, battery life. Despite the iPhone X having a slightly larger battery than the 8 Plus, it does not quite last as long. We get a day and a half to 2-day battery life on the iPhone 8 Plus, while on the iPhone X we get a solid 1 day, just a bit better than the iPhone 8. We have also run our proprietary battery test and you can see the results right here. All three iPhones also support fast charging, but in order to actually use it, you need to buy a different charger. Apple sells a $50 one, but we recommend getting the reliable $10 Anker Elite Dual Port and get similar results for a lot less money. Finally, all three new iPhones now finally support wireless charging. To use it, you need to buy a Qi wireless charger. Apple sells Mophie and Belkin wireless chargers for $60, but you can get a charger from Samsung or others for half that price if you want to save some money. In terms of actual call quality, there were some issues with early iPhone 8 units. Apple has now fixed those, so you can get great call quality with the iPhone 8, the 8 Plus and the 10. So what are the differences and which one should you get? The iPhone 8 is the cheapest and most compact. The iPhone 8 Plus has the biggest screen for videos and larger font for text. And the iPhone X has the impressive bezel-less screen and futuristic design, but also a $1,000 price. All in all, the 8 and the 8 Plus feel a bit boring. The iPhone X is clearly the future, but many apps are not optimized yet and Face ID is not perfect, so in a way it's the future but one that's still in development, and we're not quite sure we're ready to pay $1,000 for that.